All right, so I'm going to give you guys the exact operational workflow that has given me so much time freedom since I implemented it. And I use a tool called Asana. I highly recommend that you guys use this tool. If you don't use Asana, there's other alternatives like Monday.com. There's Notion, which is really popular among young entrepreneurs. So again, use a project management tool is really the premise of this video. But I want to show you guys how mine is organized, just to maybe inspire someone to organize theirs just the same. So it's a really simple concept. In Asana, not only can you create tasks. Like when I first got Asana, would literally just create like a to-do list, and it was great and I loved it. But it was like, yo, it's just a to-do list. Like what's the big stink about this? Like people are paying for a glorified to-do list. I can do this in Apple Notes. But come to find out, I was using Asana all wrong. The to-do list feature, the ability to create tasks and group them as projects, is great, and it gamifies, running a business, because like I can brainstorm on a Sunday night, come up with a bunch of stuff, wake up and, bang out some to-dos, and I can, assign different tasks essentially to different team members. So like that was good. It helped me be organized in the beginning. But here's where it got like really crazy. I wasn't aware that these project management tools actually link with all of the different CRMs and productivity suites like G Suite, which is Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive, right? I didn't realize it linked with those and could create automations. And now using AI, it literally can read and know like what happens next in your business without you having to think, right? So I want to break down for you guys what a day for me typically looks like and how I'm able to not only save myself a bunch of time, but also delegate to my team without having to micromanage, which, as you guys know, in real estate, it's a lot of it's really just tasks, right? Every transaction is really just a list of tasks. So anywhere you can automate really saves you a ton of time and a ton of stress from having to try to think and remember exactly what you have to do next. All right, so first things first, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm checking are my tasks, right? So in most project management tools, they're kind of fairly similar, but here my task is top right. I click it and I can see what I'm behind on. As you guys can see, I'm literally shooting this video. I'm a week behind on this video. So, that's why we're doing that today. I gotta pay my car payment today, right? You can see like personal things here. And me, I'm super system oriented and like detail oriented. So you can see like my wake up time, when I take my vitamins, when I eat breakfast, when I pray, like all that is outlined every single day, right? So these are simple recurring tasks that I know I do every single day, and I can get my morning started with these easy low hanging fruit tasks, right? These are like, when I wake up, I know I'm gonna have these tasks, but it helps my day get rolling to be able to not only do them, but then like mark it complete. It gives you that dopamine of like, okay, I marked something complete. So that's how I start every single morning. Now to take it a step further, right? I have a lot of tasks for my team, right? As you can see, it's not just me in here. If I go to the home page, you can see that I have multiple projects, and you can see I have a ton of team members, right? My entire staff is in here. So I can go to any various project. In this case, I'm gonna go to real estate transactions, and I can see each property that I own, right? And what tasks are due. If I click inside of it, I can see what tasks are done and what tasks are due, right? Like you can see here, I'm 2 months behind on updating the profit loss statement for that property, right? So this is awesome, not only because I'm keeping track, as you guys just saw, but this entire process was automated. So like if I were to buy a property right now, I would click add a task, right? Or even better yet, I can select a template, okay? And Asana is going to fire off this rule that I already pre-created, and it's gonna give it 3 tasks. So you can see the template makes me put all this information, and then these 3 tasks happen and they're due today. So as I move this property along, let's just say it's a fix and flip, right? And then let's just say it's 123 Main Street. Now, if I finish those tasks, I can move them to the next phase. Another rule will happen, okay? It just fired off another 11 tasks, right? And this is how I'm able to not only just have a to-do list, but a to-do list that is attached to an event. And the cool thing about this is that I can actually connect this to Google Sheets, Google Drive, and anything that I type in, for example, one of these tasks can then populate a spreadsheet, right? And vice versa. So I can have several softwares automatically doing things for one another. If I create a Google Drive folder here, okay, those documents, any documents that I drop in comments, for example, will automatically go in that Google Drive folder. So there's a ton of linking and syncing going on with my usage of Asana, okay? Now, this is just one example. I can show you another example of how we obtain partners, right? These are all partners that decided to either invest in a deal with us or get coached by us. Same thing, I have different stages that those partners would be in, and each of those have different tasks assigned to different people. So if I go here to Khadijah, who's one of our partners, for example, you can see all of the tasks that we performed for her. You can see that we're assigned to different people, okay? And if I wanna check those different people, I can look at, just because I just saw Liba on the screen, I can look at Liba's task as well and see what she's behind or up to date on as one of my team members, as one of my staff members, right? So this has allowed me to, instead of texting people all day, even Slack all day, emailing, calling, this allowed me to now be able to manage a team of 12 employees without ever really leaving my desk, and without having to stress or be concerned about if they remembered something, right? Because this system is automatically remembering it for them, okay? I'm a huge advocate for SOPs, for example. SOPs stand for Standard Operating Procedures. This is typically a document that outlines how something is done. I'm a big advocate of those. Those are great, but at the end of the day, you have to print those out. You have to pull them up and read step by step. It's not moving with you as you move throughout your business, okay? So by taking SOPs, creating those first, and then taking that same exact data, that information, those how-tos, and implementing them into an automated system like what I showed you guys today in my real estate business, or what I showed you in our partner acquisitions department, right? Now, I know those things are gonna happen every time, and if I change something once, it's changed all the time moving forward. I don't have to remember on the next transaction and then rely on muscle memory. Okay, so this is one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite ways to honestly just save myself time, stay organized, save myself the headache of making mistakes. If you are in a small business, especially real estate, which can tend to be hectic, I highly recommend using Asana or any of the tools I mentioned earlier in the video to launch your business and stay organized. Because if you've ever closed a real estate transaction before, you know that staying organized is half the battle. The lenders are going to be asking for a ton of documents, right? The attorney or title company that you're working with is going to be asking for a ton of documents. You're going to be forming LLCs. We have different properties in different states. Every state has a different way of forming an LLC, right? We need to make sure all these things are stored properly, connected properly so the whole team has access, right? All of this is important, and Asana helps with all of that. So again, this is not an Asana like ad. I don't get paid for this. I highly recommend it just if you're new in investing. It doesn't matter if it's only one property. The earlier you create systems, the faster you can scale an actual portfolio and a business. I don't care if you have aspirations of being an agent, a property manager, an investor, a wholesaler. Systems are going to be the key to being able to scale your business. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this content and you enjoy small gems like this that help someone, whoever you might be, start, launch, and scale a real estate business. Like I said, be sure to like, share, subscribe with someone else. Each one teach one. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.